Good afternoon. I'm Scott Guestford, the GM of the Oakland A's, and I have with me Tony. How are you today, Tony?
I'm doing well, Scott. How are you today?
I'm great, thank you. All ready for the season to get started here shortly?
I sure am. Yep, this off season is long, and I'm just ready to start the real season back up. I always feel like at the beginning of the season we all start out even, so why not me this year? Doesn't always work
Uh,
out. But
Exactly. I just talked with Cole yesterday from Milwaukee, and he said the only thing I want for this year is the National League team to win
yeah, that would be good. We
it.
haven't done anything in a long time. I know what you're saying.
He said it'd be great if it was him, but as long as it's somebody from the
But
National
any
League,
of
he'll be
them?
happy. Yeah, exactly. So how do you feel your 2020 season went and your expectations?
2022. Yeah, 2022. It started out great. Came out of the gate pretty hot. March, April, May, June. We were in the, you know, well, well at the top of the league, and then sort of fell apart late in the season, July, August. And it wasn't really injuries or anything like that. It just seems the performance fell off. So um, that was sort of the second year in a row we had a collapse like that. So I relieved the coaching staff of their duties, brought on some new guys to coach the team, and I'm hopeful that they can hold everything together for a full season in 2023 because I think we have the talent, but I think it's for some reason we just can't push it over the line.
Well, how do you think the DH is going to help whether your team or the rest of the National League catch up with the American League?
I don't know if it's going to help too much. It gives me a little more flexibility to get a player in the lineup that a bat in the lineup that otherwise might not have been there. Um, but really, I don't know that it will help that much because when we get to the playoffs and into the to the later part of the playoffs, the DH, it was always if you're in the National League Park, you play by the National League rules. If you're in the American League Park, you play by the American League rules. So I think it kind of always balanced out. Um, but from my perspective, it will allow me to put another bat in there. I'm hopeful that I can get some good action out of Cannon Miles this year, who I signed in the offseason, and I'm hopeful that you know, he'll he'll be batting leadoff and getting on base a lot. So that's what I'm looking for from him. So we'll see. I don't know if it's going to help the National League get that victory we're looking for, but maybe we'll see.
Hey, you never know, right?
You never know.
It's a
You
new
never
new
know.
year.
We had it last year because I traded someone. I traded a player that I probably would have kept had there been a National League DH last season. So but this season, it'll be interesting to see what happened. Like I said, I did sign Cannon Miles to play that DH for me, and he's adequate to play the field as well if we need him out there.
All right. So that leads me into my next question: is what is your projected starting lineup?
So I'm projecting we're going to have Cannon Miles lead off, and then either Russell Nicholas or Victor Robles will bat in the 2 spot, one of those outfielders. If I get a good year like I got from Reimer Lariano last year, I'm going to bat him in third. And then Lauren Rogers or Ed Palmer will probably be fourth or fifth. Hinojosa and Matthew Ryan, and then a shortstop to be determined in the ninth hole. That's how I'm thinking about it right now. So Matthew Ryan
Okay.
last year, I put him at third base. He hit well, played a good third base. So I'm hoping I'll get the same out of him. But he's sort of a back of the lineup guy.
So you didn't mention Matthew Grace, your young. It looks like a stud
So
hitter to be.
he looks like a stud hitter to be. I think he might need just a little more time. He's on my depth chart. You're going to see him play a lot behind Rogers at first base, but I think to start the season, Rogers is going to get the starting nod there, unless Grace, blows me away in spring training, which could happen. And if he does, then you might see him supplant Lauren Rogers for that starting spot at first base.
Will he get some at bats as a designated hitter just to keep his bat moving?
Yep. He will be up there as designated hitter, more likely because Grace is a really strong fielder. More likely that Rogers will move to the DH spot and Grace will actually take the field at first base. So
Okay.
that's how I'm looking at it, But yeah, I do plan to get Grace plenty of at bats in 2023.
And you finished at the top half for the most part of all the batting categories in the National League last year.
Yeah.
Do you expect that to stay about the same, or you hope to improve on that, or?
I'd love to improve on it. Of course, love to improve on it. I'm really hopeful that Ed Palmer will have a bounce back year. He was good last year, but he struck out a lot more than I think he usually does. Didn't drive in as many runs. Didn't have the average up there like he had in 2021. So I'm hoping for a bounce back from him. Because right behind Ed Palmer is Gabriel Moreno at my AAA team. That I think he's my future at catching. So, but I do hope for I don't intend to have him to come up for the season, but I'm hopeful that that Palmer will make it happen. And then if I get the same or better performance out of Robles, I'll be really happy. If I get the same or better performance out of Liriano, I'll be really pleased as well. And if I get the same numbers that Hinojosa has been putting up over the past few seasons, certainly I'll be pleased. So I think all the offense is pretty well set. That shortstop position I got to figure out. Trey Simon is okay. But I'd love to put a better bat on the field there if I could.
A better batter or a better fielder.
Yeah,
right?
really, just a better player. Yeah, let's just say a better player at that position, if I could. But right now he would be the guy.
Okay, so let's turn it over to the other side. Let's look at your pitching.
Yeah.
Your rotation. Did you make any changes this year, or are you throwing out the same guys from last year?
Mostly the same guys. And then I'm trying to decide whether Chris Roach, who was my closer last year, will move into the 5 spot as a starter. And Jackson Coher will move to the bullpen as the closer. Or if I'll leave Coher as the 5, the 5th starter, and put Roach back in his closer spot. Because he had a great season as closer. But I personally think he is starting rotation material. And
So there's going to be
really
a little competition in spring training to who gets that 5th spot.
Yeah, and either way, they're going to have a good spot. One of those 2 players is going to be the closer, and one of those 2 players is going to be the fifth starter. So I think we'll see. I sort of have to figure that out. I will have them. I will have my some of my younger guys, Roach, certainly Nick Pickett on a pitch count, maybe 100, 105, just to try and keep them fresh for a full season, and maybe keep away the injuries. So, but yeah, I'm expecting good things from that starting rotation, and I'm hoping that the bullpen improves a little this year. I picked up Anthony Kay in a trade. I signed, I believe I signed Michael Hicks, because I like the way he, controls the ball and keeps it down. So I think he'll be a good addition as well. Vizcano's getting a little old, but he's been solid in my pen. So I think he'll be my middle guy. And then
Wait,
the rest of the guys watch out.
You think 32 is old?
Well, let's say he's closer to the end of his career than the beginning. Maybe that's a
Oh,
way to
okay.
look at
We
it.
could, yeah, we could. I'm much older than 32, so
I am too. much older.
so so what would happen if you had an injury to one of your top five? Do you have somebody in the farm system that would come up, or how would that work? Or
Well,
is that you have to play that by ear?
got to play it by ear. I have Reed Detmers. He's a lefty starter. He's 23. He's done well at each level of the minors. And 2023, I expect to have him at AAA for the whole season. I'd prefer not to move him up. But if I need him, he's there. I would really love to see him put in a full season at AAA though. So you know, so again, I would like to keep him there, but he would be available. And then I've got a few other guys. I've got Wes Martin, who has been a starter, has been a reliever up. He sort of bounced back and forth over the course of a few years. That I could use him and in the rotation if there's a need. And I think if one of my having Coer and Roach both there, both capable of being starters or being back of the pen guys, late inning guys, I could make do and fit something together from the perspective of an emergency set of starters if somebody were to get hurt. Hoping it doesn't happen, but it does. I think I'm going to be okay.
We always have to deal with injuries. They happen every year.
Every year.
Hopefully they're not any long-term ones. Some short-term ones you can deal with.
Yep.
Long-term ones that kill you.
Yep.
Well, in last year, you were kind of towards the back half of some categories in pitching and towards the middle and others. Do you think finding that fifth guy is going to make that much of a difference to get you a few more wins?
I think, I would like to have starters that can go fairly deep. And I've had that for the past few seasons. Davies has been was excellent for many years and kind of slipped a little maybe last season. Pickett and Reith always seem to come through. Travail's our captain, one of the leaders of the team. So I think we're going to be okay with the guys we have, and then if we get something really good out of Roach, something really good out of Coer, it's just going to be the icing on the cake there.
Right, you've already mentioned a couple of your better prospects: Moreno, Detmers, Grace.
Yeah.
Do you see any of them making a big impact for the Nationals this year, or somebody else?
So, and then Cy Young the fourth, who's at Double-A, will be at Double-A this season. Those are my top guys. I expect that. I don't really expect anybody but Grace to be on the major league roster this season. That's what I'm hoping for, anyway.
What about Snow?
Yeah, Snow will be on the major league roster, although I had him up last year as well, up and down a little bit, and he couldn't really get started from a hitting perspective. But he's also only 24. He's a young guy, so I'm going to give him a chance. Going to give him some opportunities at third base this season behind Ryan. He'll also be in the rotation of DHs during the season. So, and if he can show me something and put the bat on the ball, more opportunity will be given to him.
Okay, so what's your philosophy with your minor league system? I know you've kind of mentioned you want to keep, for a whole year. Is that your plan? You like to get them 1 year per level?
Yeah, I do. and I kind of have an up or out mentality when it comes to the minors. So I like to see guys play their 23-year-old season at AAA, and then their 22-year-old season at AA, and their 21-year-old season at A ball. And if I don't feel they're going to progress like that, in a lot of cases they will either sort of be, forgotten, pushed aside, or just let go. So, but I have found that development pattern leads to a player that's mature and ready to to do a good job in their 24-year-old season. And that's kind of been my philosophy for a while. A guy I rushed a few years ago was John Simpson, right? I rushed him up, and he had a really good first year, but I think he was 22. Had a very good first year, and then he sort of struggled in his second year, and then he was pretty good last year in his 24-year-old season. So, and I've rushed some other guys up over the years as well, and I'm trying to avoid that when I can. So, trying to stick to my model there of progressing guys slowly and letting them.
You gotta have a game plan and be willing to stick to it.
Yeah, that's my hope. Um, is
Are
that
you
you can
looking
stick to it.
to are you looking to make any kind of trades to fill holes like shortstop, or are you looking to get a free agent?
Yeah, so I've got my eye on a couple of free agents that I've been, competing for. But so far, I have not had that free agent sign to play shortstop. Um, and then, like I said, if worst comes to worst, that we'll see Trey Simon there this season. I thought about maybe moving or allowing CJ Hinojosa to play shortstop as well. I think he can do it, but I really don't want to mess with him if I can help it. I think he's most comfortable at second base, and I think he, has played there, and I think he'll do well there. So I don't think that will happen. That he will go to shortstop, and then I've always got the option to let Matthew Ryan slide over. He can play all the infield positions, some of them better than others, but I can, slide him over into the shortstop spot. And then even perhaps in a pinch, I have Preston Carver there who can kind of play shortstop as well. So I think I'm going to be okay. But yeah, that would be out of all the positions that I'm uncertain about or feel the least comfortable about, it would have to be shortstop right now.
Okay, and you're happy with your pitching staff as we talked about, which helps out there. So I asked Cole the same question yesterday: is what's your philosophy on your money, and then using that for your scouting and for your development?
Yeah, I I don't max either of them out. I think the max is pretty high, 15 and 18 maybe. Scouting and development were 15 and 18, something like that. It's pretty high. I come close, probably, but I'm a few. I probably am about $3 or $4 million below the top on each of my budgets there. I'd prefer to use that little extra money to to fill out the team, with say a mid-quality free agent where I can. But there were some years, early on in my career as a GM where I did not fund those budgets very well, and I saw a big difference in terms of the quality of the scouting, definitely saw a big difference in terms of the players developing through my minor leagues. So I'm a believer that you got to put money there, but I'm not a believer that you have to put every nickel up to the max there.
Okay, and let's talk about the future for a minute. You looking on your salary page, you're only going to lose Travell this year at the end of this year.
Yeah.
So you're sitting pretty good moving forward. I mean, you got a couple. Lariano has a player option, and however you said CJ Hinasoa, he has an
Yeah.
opt out in his contract.
Yeah.
Do you have backup plans in case those happen, or is that something you just have to decide?
I think I'll see, right? Liriano going frees up. If Liriano were to opt out, not accept his, not take up his player option, that puts a lot of money back into my free agent budget, right? Because he's going to make slated to make 26 million
Yeah.
in 2024. And Hinajo says, well, if he were to opt out, again slated to make 13 million, that puts a lot of money back into my budget as well. So I think what I could do if either of those guys were to not fulfill continue with their contract is that I could could use that money that I was going to spend on them to cover some free agents as well. So and then if and get somebody there, and because I am a little light in the minor leagues in the outfield right now, so um I could use
And
another
you have a
year out of
couple. And you have a couple people scheduled to make decent money in arbitration next year with Palmer and Heath or Reith. I mean,
Yep.
Pickett
Yep.
in
Yep.
their
Pickett's good.
final years. So
Yeah, that's their final years, and behind Pickett, by then I'm hopeful that I'll see I'll see Cy Young coming up. Of course,
if only he lives up
Detmers.
to his name, you'll be in good shape.
I know. I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful there. Detmers will be coming up. Of course, Palmer's eligible for one more year of arbitration, and then, I'm really excited about the opportunity to move Moreno up as well. So, yeah, we'll certainly see. But I think from a dollars perspective, I'm in pretty good shape. We are a pretty big market, so we have money available.
Yeah, you're lucky that way.
Yeah, certainly. We're so it's a matter of just using it wisely. And like I said, if either of those guys were to walk or both to walk, that frees up a bunch of dollars as well to do something with. So I think we'll be okay.
Okay, so where do you project the Nationals to be this year? I mean, you got the Phillies and you got the Braves. The Mets
Yeah,
fell off.
it fell off, but they're always dangerous. Miami looks like they will struggle again. I would love to get that. I would love to get those 5 or 6 more wins this year and get over 90, which I think will help me, will allow me to win the division. If I can win the division, and then get into the tournament, we'll see what happens. But I do expect to have a real shot at winning the division, and I have a complete expectation of making the playoffs in 2023.
So you think 90 wins get you the division title? I mean, that's what it was this year, 90 and 72 for Philadelphia.
Yeah, I think 90 would do it. I don't think it's much more than that. Of course, we'll take more if we can get them, right? But I think
Right.
90 will do it in our division because, we compete with each other and we beat each other up. So,
Okay.
right within our division because we have some good teams there. So, I think, but yeah, I think 90 will do it in the NL East. I hope so. I
Well,
think 90
so
will
if
at
you
least get a wild card spot for sure.
Okay, yeah, that's certainly reasonable. I mean, it took
Yep.
87 last year to get into the wild card. You just missed that by a couple games.
Yep.
So if you had to make one big bold prediction for 2023, it doesn't have to be about the Nationals. It could be about any player or any team. What would that bold prediction be?
Um, I have a feeling that Detroit has finally found their window. So I would not be surprised to see them unseat Minnesota in the AL Central.
You're going to get Jim to have a big head here.
Yeah, I think he's, and I think he's gonna be. I think Detroit's gonna do well. Um, and
I'm not disagreeing with you. I agree. I
you know,
told him last year that I thought he had a good chance of winning the division.
yeah,
And before the
and he's
season,
got two of my guys, right? I mean, I traded Enrique Bradfield to him a while ago, and Bradfield's done very well in his minors and comes up. Devin Lewis, I traded when I thought we were not going to have a DH.
Mhm.
And I think he had a good season last season, but I think he's destined for stardom. So I think I gave him two guys that are going to really help him out. If Arenado stays healthy and plays like he did last season, he's going to be in good shape. So, and I know, so I think he's going to do. I think I think Detroit has a really good shot um, in 2023. Of course,
So, yeah,
on the
that's
Angels are always the front runners there. So.
yeah, exactly. So, who are you looking for to be a surprise team this year out of any team in the league?
Mm, yeah, because I guess Detroit wouldn't be a surprise team.
Now, he won 90
Um,
games last year. It'd
yeah,
be hard to be a
but they were
surprise.
better than we were, sure. Um, I don't know. I think maybe I like the top of the lineup in Kansas City. So I think they might progress and do well. Um, Kim in Arizona always runs a good team. They won't be a surprise. They're always good. I think you know um, we should see. So I would think maybe Kansas City might have a chance to turn those numbers around and do well. And I'm always in the National East. I've just seen it year, plenty of years where you think the Mets are out of it, and then they come back and have a strong year. 2021, for example, they did. So Mets are always a threat in the National League East.
Okay. Well, is there anything that I didn't ask you that you want to get out to the MLB universe, or any thoughts you have?
No, I don't think so, Scott. I mean, I really can't think of anything else.
The other thing I left yesterday when I talked to Cole was, do you want to tell people in the MLB universe what you do for a living to let them get to know you a little bit better?
Um, I work for a large pharmaceutical company. I'm uh, head of IT, not the CIO, but one of the heads of IT um, for that company. So I do a lot of work around automation and robotics and things like that. Um, I live in New Jersey, and as part of um, my wife and I also run a dog rescue out of our
Oh,
home. So yeah, so we've rescued probably almost 300 dogs, I would say, puppies and dogs over the past 4 or 5 years. And last year we did about 40, and that's a lot of fun. We right now we have 0 puppies, which is unusual for us, but at any given moment we generally have 4 or 5 puppies running around our house, which is it's always fun to have puppies around.
So what I hear you saying is telling the MLB universe that pro universe that at the end of a trade to do the kicker, throwing a dog.
Throwing a dog, right? One of those dogs that can go grab the bat uh, off the field when the player drops it and takes off for the base. Yep.
There you go.
Yep.
Exactly. So cool. I want to thank you for coming on and doing this with me. And I don't know when I'll post them. My goal right now is to try to post them during spring training.
Okay.
So that way we have something, one team per day or something like that. Depends on how many I get done and how many people want to do them. So,
Well, thanks for
but I
giving me the opportunity, Scott. Appreciate it.
I appreciate your time, and I'm going to stop recording, and we can stay on and chat for a minute if you'd like.
All right. Yeah, sure. Good luck in 2023 to you.
Thank you.